You guys know the drill. We're a couple of days after game day, and that can only mean one thing here on the Full Command channel. It is time to get into some hot takes. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Full Command Show. My name is Grant Mitchell, and we are here to dive into some of the most divisive opinions involving your favorite team, the Washington Commanders. This is the weekly series where I lay out 5 hot takes, and I do my best to rank them in order from least to most in terms of believability, agreeability, likely to happen, etc., etc. Now, this is my opinion. As always, you guys have a job here on this channel. Your job is to go to the comment section and leave me your opinions, because I don't record these videos just to shout out to all of you guys. I record them to start a conversation. I want to know what you have to say. If you guys want to support me, you want to support the channel, support the content, the number one way you can do that is by hitting the like button. I get it. It's not fun being here at 3-5. Nobody wanted to lose by 21 points in prime time, but that doesn't mean that it's time to stop being a fan of the team or the content. So number one way, hit the like button. And the number two way, make sure you do hit that subscribe button, because I am coming out with content every single day, sometimes multiple times per day. Okay, I'm not going to keep you guys waiting any longer. Let's go ahead. Let's jump over one final time. These are my opinions. We're going to start with the least agreeable, believable, yada, yada, and we'll get to the most with the scorching hot takes at the end. But this is number one.
Jayden's behavior is a problem.
So a lot of people have made a fuss that Jayden seems a little lighthearted, optimistic. He's joking. He's smiling after a turnover when he's on the sideline and we're losing. And I can't understand why. Now, if we knew nothing about Jayden, or let's say we knew Jayden didn't really care that much, we knew he wasn't that good, he wasn't accountable, he wasn't a leader, things like that, that's a problem. We know Jayden Daniels is the fiercest competitor on this team. We saw him drag us to the conference championship a year ago. After, for example, the fumble to Bill on the handoff on Monday night against the Bears, we saw him go straight to the press conference, say, that is entirely my fault. I want all of the blame. When things don't go right with the team, he falls on the sword. The 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, they look to Jayden as their leader. So when you see him exhibiting positive nonverbal communication, things like smiling, laughing, he's keeping the mood up. He is being stoic. He is letting his teammates know, do not panic. We are going to be okay. He's also saying, I'm comfortable in adversity. I don't need to scowl. I don't need to swear at my teammates. I don't need to go bump into the coaches. I don't need to slam my helmet. I don't need to do any of that, because I'm comfortable in who I am and I'm comfortable in these moments. So again, if he was a slacker, if he was bad, if he was not a leader, yes, that's an issue. Okay? For example, Tua Tagovailoa. The way that he talks in the press conferences, I couldn't see Waddle because I'm short. Oh, yeah, the coaching, the leadership hasn't been great. Guys aren't showing up to meetings. That's bad. Tua's joking and laughing on the sideline. That's a problem. Jayden? No chance. This is the sign of somebody who, again, is doing everything he can to be a leader. He does it as soon as he breaks. As soon as he gets angry, frustrated, the tension for everybody else in that offense and the team is just going to get turned up and up and up. So to say Jayden's behavior is a problem right now, I think you guys have lost the plot.
The playoff dreams aren't over.
So this isn't at the bottom in this video, but it is close to the bottom. So in my opinion, the best case scenario is we're 5-6 at the bye week. That means we need to win 2 of our next 3 against the Seahawks, the Lions, both of which are at home, and then we go to Spain to play the Dolphins. I would assume we win that game, but then again, international games, I always call them the great equalizer, so you never know about that. And then you're trying to split between the Lions and the Seahawks, which we're going to be underdogs in both those games. We're 3.5-point underdogs on Sunday. We're coming off a short week. They're coming off of a bye week. Again, NFL explained to me how that's fair. And then the Lions probably going to be 8-9-point favorites, even on the road. So 5-6 for me is the best case. I don't even know that it's that likely. Again, the sports books will tell you we're underdogs in both of those, which means they think we're going to be 4-7. So let's just say hypothetically we are 5-6 at the bye. We win 2 of the next 3. you got to go 5-1 down the stretch to get yourself to 10-7. And even then, it's not a guarantee that you will make it into the playoffs. Now, in this scenario, you might have the tiebreaker over the Seahawks. Having a tiebreaker over the Lions probably won't matter because they're going to have a better record than 10-7. But you would not have it against the Falcons. You would not have it against the Packers. At this moment, you don't have it against the Cowboys. We'll see what happens there. There's another NFC team I'm missing in there somewhere. But point being, we are 1-4 against the conference right now. So we've got a lot of work to do down the stretch. Now, here's the schedule coming out of the bye week. Home for the Broncos. Got to say, Bo Nix played really good for the last 5 quarters of football. He'd been pretty awful the entire year up until that point, and the Broncos are still 6-2. That's a testament to their defense. And if Bo Nix actually, if he does what he did last week and in the fourth quarter of that game against the Giants, then they're a legitimate contender. So we're probably underdogs in that one. Then we're on the road at the Vikings. I don't respect J.J. McCarthy's game, but Vikings are an incredibly well-coached team with a great defense. We are at the Giants on the road against a divisional opponent. We host the Eagles. We host the Cowboys, and then we are at the Eagles. So the toughest game in all of that is at Eagles. The blessing there is it's week 18, and the Eagles are going to run away with this division. I'm sorry to break the news to you if you don't already know that. They're going to run away with it. They're going to be resting guys in week 18, I would assume. So I think that's almost an automatic win, and I don't want to say automatic, but if we are in a position to contend for the playoffs, when we're in week 18, the Eagles are probably resting their guys. We will throw everything we have at winning that game. We probably win that game. So there's a tall order. First and foremost, you got to go 2-1 over the next 3 games. You assume you win week 18 against the Eagles to finish the season. So that means those 5 games in the middle there, you got to win 4 of them. That's Broncos, at Vikings, at Giants, home for Eagles, home for Cowboys. Ultimately, we are asking for a lot of things to break our way. And right now, with A, the way the team and the coaching staff has performed, and B, this is really the biggest story of the season, the injuries. Now, injuries don't excuse everything, but they do significantly hinder what you're trying to do. They limit what you can accomplish. And we're just banged up to hell. Jayden, I think he's playing on Sunday night. We're going to get new comments from Dan Quinn today because he's supposed to practice, but he's coming off an injury. Who knows if Terry's playing? He aggravated his injury. We haven't been able to run the ball recently. Kinlaw, same thing. He's said thinks he's good to play, but we'll see. Payne's been fighting through something with his toe. Dorrance is out. There's just injuries all over the field. So to ask to win 2 of the next 3 and then to go 4-1 coming out of that, it feels unrealistic to me.
Time to trade Daron Payne.
Let me say this. I have no negative feelings or negative words to share about Daron Payne. He's been excellent this year. If I am ranking the best players on the defense, the top 3 for me are all on the defensive line. It's Dorrance Armstrong, it's Daron Payne, it's Javon Kinlaw. Now, you can order them however you want. Also, Dorrance is gone for the year, so if we're just going to remove him from that equation, we say, okay, it's Daron and it's Kinlaw. He's been great. I don't want this to come across as saying that I'm mad at him, I want him off the team, anything like that. It is the fact that he has been so great that his trade value, it's never going to be as high as it is right now. It's the middle of the season. You look around, there are going to be teams who are contenders or think they're contenders wanting to push their chips into the middle of the table. For example, the Jaguars, and I don't think the Jaguars are great, but the reports are they are looking to buy at the deadline. Obviously, there's the Brian Thomas Jr. connection. That doesn't even have to be a part of it. If we take BTJ out of it, the Jags are still aggressive. We saw what they did to trade up to get Travis Hunter. If they're willing to offer a second for Daron Payne, or maybe it's a third and some other picks, young players, and it doesn't have to be the Jags either. It could be other teams out there. Payne is good for us, and losing him obviously creates a hole, but just laid out the scenario it would take for the Commanders to have a chance to reach the playoffs. Even then at 10-7, you might not get in because of tiebreaker stuff. It creates a hole removing Daron Payne from the equation, but if you get the right players, if you use the picks and draft correctly, you have now replaced not just one hole, and maybe you've left that hole open, but you filled in 2 or 3 other holes. So it's a big philosophical question of, are we buyers? Are we sellers at the deadline? And then number 2, there's pressure on Adam Peters to pick the right players in the trade package, use the picks correctly, draft the right guys, et cetera, et cetera. Also, I will just put this out there. You don't sign Kinlaw to the money you did, or you don't give Kinlaw the money you did, sign to the contract that you did, and you don't draft Johnny Newton in the 2nd round if you don't think those are going to be your guys moving forward. Now, if we're switching to a more of a 3-4 front long term, that changes the equation, but I left this right in the middle, 3 out of 5, because I'm cool with either way, honestly. Daron Payne has been so good. Would love to see him back in a Commander's uniform. He's also been so good that I think he's one of our most tradable assets right now, and we need help for the future as well.
Let Luke loose.
Terry is injured again. Whatever your feelings were with the contract stuff during the offseason, the simple reality is this player, his name could be Bob Smith, could be anything you want. He played the first 3 weeks of the season, was not impressive. Then he missed 4 weeks, comes back, does make some nice catches. Don't get me wrong, not a great box score, very nice catches though, but he gets injured again. And apparently it's an aggravation of that same injury, which hopefully we get more updates from DQ about. He said yesterday that he didn't have enough information. We would get that update today on Wednesday. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But he's aggravated the same injury again. Start of the year not performing great. Debo has been non-existent the last few weeks. And you know what? Injuries have played a part in that as well. But he's on a 1-year deal. He's not going to be here in the future. Jalen Lane's the rookie you drafted this year. Still really like Lane's potential. He's been great on special teams. Maybe not great. He's been good on special teams, but as a receiver, he's been pretty terrible this year. I don't want to continue to see Chris Moore. I don't want to see Robbie Chosen get signed, elevated for 1 week, and become the number 1 receiver. I don't want Jeremy McNichols to lead us in receiving yards. Yes, that happened on Monday night against the Chiefs. Jeremy McNichols was the leading receiver. Luke, look, I don't know how good Luke actually is. Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you. But what I can tell you is he seems like one of the few who is always giving his best. He is always full of belief. He's always trying to change momentum and bring the energy, whether it is blocking, whether it is returning, whether it's covering kicks, whether it's receiving. And if we take Terry out of it, because Terry's catches, the one up the sideline where he aggravated his injury and then the touchdown, there was an obvious difference in skill in the level that's required to catch those balls and everything else we saw this season from Debo, from Chris Moore, from whoever. If we're looking at the one other pass catcher who has shown legitimate receiving skill, it's Luke. That 50-yard catch from Jayden against the Chargers, that is a difficult catch. And then you saw some of that again on Monday night against the Chiefs with that toe-tapping, falling out of bounds catch up the sidelines. He also had, I think it was a 43-yarder against the Raiders. He had the blown coverage touchdown against the Bears. He had a touchdown, and did he have a 2-point conversion against the Falcons? And obviously, right now, he's the best kick returner in the NFL. So we are at the point, again, as the present continues to morph to the future, meaning our present is less and less about competing for a championship right now, and it's more and more about looking ahead to next season already. Luke is going to be on the roster next year. I can't say that about Debo. I can't say that about Noah Brown. I can say that about Jalen Lane, but I know he's not usurping Luke in the pecking order. Right now, Luke is your number 2 next year. At the very least, assuming they bring someone, he's the number 3. And Terry's going to be 31 years old next year. So how long is he really going to be the number 1 on this team? Probably, if it happens, next year is probably the last year. So Luke is the one guy showing that there might be something. And there might not be, but I need to see it. Just like with Jordan McGee. And I've got more Luke than I've got Jordan McGee up to this point. But when McGee was on the field, it's like, hey, I can see a world in which this works. Doesn't mean it will, but I want to actually find out. That's where I'm at with Luke. So let's get him some more touches, please. And since we're talking about Luke McCaffrey, I wanted to make sure to throw up this community hot take from a member of our Full Command Discord. If you guys are watching this video, then you're fans of the Commanders, you're fans of me, you're fans of the content, then you got to be in the Full Command Discord. We have a bunch of channels where you can talk to myself and other members of the community. Also, we have premium channels where I do monthly giveaways for things such as jerseys. The first drawing is going to be at the end of this month. You can also get opportunities to hop on stream with me, so why not go ahead and join? But let's take a look at this just to wrap up the Luke McCaffrey take. President Swanson here says the focus was on personnel changes on defense in the Chiefs game, but what happened under the radar was Luke getting more run higher in the progression. He wasn't just running decoy, clear out stuff. His trust arrow is pointing up with the staff and the QBs. He could take some of Debo's opportunities in the second half of the season. We might not be so eager to throw wide receiver screens for 1 yard all game. So definitely keep an eye on Luke McCaffrey, not just next year, but according to President Swanson, heading into the back half of the season.
An amicable breakup.
The bulk of Commanders Nation is extremely frustrated with Joe Witt Jr. He's the guy in their crosshairs. After that, a lot of negativity thrown in the direction of Dan Quinn. Kliff Kingsbury, not that he hasn't had his critics, but if you were to power rank the feelings of the Commanders fan base by coaches, so Joe Witt Jr. would be number one in terms of the vitriol and the hatred, and then it'll be DQ, and then it'll be Kliff Kingsbury at the bottom. I've seen suggestions that he should take over as our head coach. He's the only coach amongst the coordinators and the head coach that doesn't deserve to get fired. And in many, many ways, I do agree with everything there. Not the firing part. I don't like coming on this channel and calling for people to be fired, but I think Kliff has earned the least criticism this season. And if we roll it back to last season as well, since the new regime came in, I think Kliff is definitely at the bottom of that list. With that being said, I think there might be a future in which I think it just might be a better future for everyone involved if Kliff is in a new spot. And this is not me asking for Kliff to be fired. I want to make that very clear. I think Kliff is a very intelligent coach. I think he's had some brilliant play designs. He's shown moments of genius. But some of his offensive style, I'm getting a little tired of only being in shotgun and pistol. It makes your running game incredibly predictable. And again, Kliff does such a great job with play design that he's already overcome a lot with this. And that's me doubling down, saying I think he's really, really smart. And Jayden plays a part in this too. Jayden's got to get more comfortable going up under center as well. He can work on that in the offseason. But when you are missing your starting quarterback, when you are missing receivers, injuries, stuff like that, when you're in shotgun and the running back is on your right, well, it's most likely a run to the left. You learn that very on playing football. That allows the defense to play the run very aggressively, have an idea of where they're going. And when that doesn't happen, the Commanders have done a great job. One of their favorite plays running the football is a GT counter or a GH counter, whatever it ends up being, a counter. And as long as defenses, they say, okay, we can overload this side, but we got to pay attention to the guards because they like to pull the guards a lot. If you do that, it's very simple, or I shouldn't say very simple, but it's easier. You have a leg up in trying to stop the Commanders' running game. And when you have a leg up trying to stop the run, and we look at the passing game, well, there's a lot of screens. There's a lot of dump-offs. There's a lot of swings. And personnel plays a part in this. Injuries play a part in this as well. This is why I want to make this clear. I'm not angry with Kliff. I don't want him fired. I am just saying the system that we're running, while it's good and it gets us rolling, I still believe in Jayden Daniels' talent as an elite level thrower of the football. He was the best deep ball passer in college. I think he can easily be right up there, if not at the top, in the professional ranks. And so I want, when I just look around and I see some of the other systems, when I see some of the other play designs, the scripts, makes me wonder about a reality where we do have a more expansive playbook that includes the running game, that includes the downfield passing game. Early in the season, before Jayden had the hamstring, you guys will know if you've been watching this channel for the last couple of months, how many times I said, hey, Kliff, let's open up the deep and intermediate passing game. Jayden can make those passes. You got to get him the opportunities. And finally, we started to get it and things started going well, but then we would just resign to these checkdowns, to these bubble screens. And it's something that I am a little bit over. Also, if Kliff were to go lock up, say, the LSU head coaching job, which I think he would have a great chance of landing. he might get a 10-year contract for $80 or $90 million. And okay, well, what if he gets fired 3 years later? Well, then he's going to have a $55 million buyout. Right now, he's making $6 million a year, which obviously great money. Good job, Kliff. But $6 million a year for 3 years with the Commanders. You can go to college, get 80 for 10. It's just, I think it's something that could work to the benefit of everyone involved. But want to make this clear, if Kliff is still our OC next year, not angry, not upset by that at all. And yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Again, before you click off of here, make sure that you do go to the comment section and leave your thoughts on the hot takes. Also, make sure you join the full Command Discord. We got it popping in there. We're talking during the game on Monday. I'm sure it's going to be a fun time as we continue to do that throughout the rest of the games on the season and just day to day, sharing breaking news, general chat, all that great stuff. And again, you guys have the opportunity to contribute to these videos and live streams as well. I'm going to head out of here, guys. Make sure you leave the video a like if you did enjoy. Make sure you hit the subscribe button as well if you're new around here. And I will catch you in the next one. Have a great day.